Good morning, and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It is Friday, February 19th, the first Friday of Lent, which all Fridays are a day of penance throughout the liturgical calendar. There's many people, many Christians who don't eat meat on Fridays throughout the entire year, which is admirable. Um, so yeah, it is Friday, February 19th, the feast day of Saint Barbatus of Benevento, which is in Italy, and he was the patron saint of he is that too, but he was the bishop of Benevento in the 600s, and he was known as a phenomenal preacher, and he is therefore, due to all else that he accomplished there, he is the patron saint of Benevento in Italy. So, with that being said, today's gospel is from Matthew chapter 9, verses 14 through 15. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen. Then the disciples of John approached him and said, "Why do we and the Pharisees fast much, but your disciples do not fast?" Jesus answered them, "Can the wedding guests mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast." All right, so we got two verses today, so short and sweet. So I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. But so John the Baptist, who prepared the way for Jesus, he had disciples himself. There's more than just the 12 disciples. John the Baptist had disciples, and Jesus appointed the 72 disciples after he died and resurrected. There's a lot of disciples. We, all Christians, are disciples, or we are called to be. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to call ourselves Christian. Anyway, so they're confused. And what do? They ask Jesus questions. They seek out information, which is a great thing to do whenever we have questions. Questions about our faith, questions about anything that we're interested in, questions about gossiping to see if it's true. So we ask questions. We ask questions all the time. That's in our human nature. We're curious. We have an intellect. We have volition, and that's what we try to do. And we use that a lot, hopefully in a good manner. But anyway, these disciples of John are asking Jesus, and they're confused about why they fast and why Jesus's don't. And Jesus, he's talking about himself here whenever he's talking about the bridegroom. There's no need to fast because Jesus is humanly present among them right now in Scripture. But then, of course, it says once he is taken away, which happened on Good Friday, that's whenever it was time to fast. And that's why we fast on Fridays. The church does. Not as much in modern times, unfortunately, because everything seems to be so secularized. But fasting is a long withstanding tradition, even back in the time of Jesus. And even before Jesus. So that's what we're called to do. And what is fasting? It is a sign of mourning. It's not just a prideful sense of like, hey, I'm fasting, I'm not eating today, or I'm not eating meat, or I'm not drinking alcohol today, or I'm not doing this, I'm not eating between meals. It's so easy, and it's hard at times to not think and not let pride trickle in whenever you're fasting. Because the whole goal of fasting is to try to become and attune our heart into a Christ-like heart. So we need to fast, as it says here in my footnotes, fasting is a sign of mourning and would be as inappropriate at this time of joy when Jesus is proclaiming the kingdom, as it would be at a marriage feast. Yet the saying looks forward to the time when Jesus will no longer be with the disciples visibly, the time of Matthew's church. So that's why we fast now. It's a constant reminder that we rely on Jesus, and we're mourning. We're mourning for our sin, and we're also mourning for the sins of others, and so clearly evident the sins of the world. And that's why we're fasting. It's not all for us. It's for all of humanity, and that's the goal. So we got to keep that in the forefront of our mind. So whenever we fast and whenever we make these decisions to do so. So the challenge whenever it comes to fasting is what or who do you offer fasting for? And of course, ultimately, everything is to grow in our faith, in our relationship with Christ. But we need some things to help motivate us sometimes because God is so abstract sometimes, and we don't always feel Him. Um, so it might be good to find somebody or something to offer it up for. So maybe you have a friend, a family member that is suffering, and there's nothing that you can do. Fast for them and offer this day of fasting for their intentions, and then just have faith and trust that God will help them because God knows and sees all. So there we go. I don't think that was short and sweet, but that's all I got for this Friday. I'm tired. It's a good day. Let's go to sleep. Let's just finish the gospel. Have a great day. And God bless. In the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen.